Hello, Leo. Welcome. I'm Ryan. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general reading, so of course everything may not resonate. Take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel, Val 3 Tarot. She's review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Again, Leo, that energy of not all gems are silver and gold. It's very Leo energy. Very Leo energy. Shiny things. Gems, jewels. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Out of curiosity, have you perfected it yet? Have you perfected it? That's going to resonate with one Leo out there. I'm a little curious as to, there is a tower, so I don't know. I don't know. Try again. We'll see. Fascinating energy. Yeah. I'm looking at study. Very studious energy. 2 more and I'll jump in. Not quite, Leo. Not quite. Almost, though. What's that called? What's that saying? Close but no cigar. Reminds me of poker. Bunch of old dogs at the table, placing their chips, placing their bets. Everyone's got their poker face on. It's kind of like, But jumping into this, which is showing me, there definitely is some sort of plan that you do have in mind or kind of thought out. It's interesting. You're kind of saying it's not real, it's not real thorough or completely thought out or clear initially, but you're saying, you know what, the hell with it, good enough for now. Let me just make the best of this and let me actually just go for it. Let me just try this. Okay. No risk, no reward. That is definitely for sure. I do see there's an energy of, you know what, you're starting something new. And it almost kind of seems and it feels like this could possibly be it. But for some reason, very quickly, no, it's not. How very interesting. It's not. And I don't know why. Whatever that plan or whatever those ideas were just completely kind of fell through. I don't know why. But you're showing me that whatever these plans are that fell through, whatever this idea was that you were thinking initially that had so much, positive momentum about it, you're just kind of like, well, shit. Now what? Well, you're trying to... Yeah, it's back to the studies. Back to study, back to look it over, back to go over the plans again. Trial and error is what you're showing me. It's interesting, but it's like you're kind of emotionally revisiting whatever this almost like an experiment is. There's definitely an experiment here, Leo. I'm not too sure what you're experimenting with, even though I do see exactly what you're experimenting with. Not my experiment. It's kind of like when a teacher knows the answer to the problem, they're kind of like, let's see if the students can kind of figure it out. We'll see. And so they kind of just wander around in the back of the classroom, keeping tabs and watch over everyone. And they're waiting to see like who's going to be the first one to be like, I got it. Or maybe yell out bingo. Don't know. But you're showing me that something financially.
I always like those teachers.
The art teachers.
Yeah, because then you do figure it out, or like you intuitively kind of sense like, is this what they wanted me to draw or do or say?
I always thought it was cool though,
Yeah.
because it'd give you like little hints and nudges, and it's kind of like that direction, that direction.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It worked for me.
It was leading and guiding without being too forceful. The thing I did, side rant. The thing I did disagree with though is how do you put a grade on art? Like, what do you mean you failed an art class? Like, what do you mean you failed an art project? Like, okay, you're just being what do they call it? Like a stickler, or I think it's called a stickler. Like, you're kind of just
those art teachers that never got to make it to their grand museum gallery, and then they would take it out on the kids. You know what I mean? They're at home.
Right? So because they couldn't do it themselves, so they judge all the others beneath them. The way that they judged them harshly, the way that they were judged harshly.
Knowing damn well they're better than them, the kids are better than them, and had way more potential at their age. I hated those teachers.
And then again, I guess that's why they could have been so rough on them, but
True.
you never know. You never know. A little curious, Leo, as to where this is going, but that's what I was kind of wondering. What you're kind of showing me was some sort of, it feels like it could have been some, finances. So there definitely was some sort of amount of resource investment into this. You're saying that it felt like you kind of lost some. You win, like literally, you win some, you lose some. Back to that close but no cigar situation, Leo. Studious. How are you going to respond if I'm like, email me your question, just point blank with your actual real email, whatever your question is, and I'll give you an answer directly. As easy as that. But then, sometimes people are like, no, that's too easy. I want to figure it out on my own. It makes sense, but then why are you here asking for my perspective, my opinion, without directly doing it? There's the devil. See, it's just once that idea gets in there, it's kind of like, he said what? He said what? Yeah, you were like, not so fast. Yeah, well, it still showed up, Leo. It still showed up. Yeah. Just having a little fun. A little fun. Reminds me of my auto shop teacher, too. Of course, it was a classroom full of, guys. They're all rowdy and they're all the outcasts and they were kind of all edgy but so was the teacher. He was a big bear of a man. And so because he was a big bear, all he came in, snarling, and he's like, all right, everyone quiet the fuck down. And everyone was just like, shh. Because he understood. He had that connection with everyone. He understood. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit more blunt to get your point across. Otherwise, people just kind of walk all over you or step all over you. They don't take you seriously. Trying to decide a soft touch or a more stern touch, It is what it is. Different tactics, but still tactics. I'm looking at 555. But jumping back into this, study, Leo. That's what it's all about. Study. Whatever you do for your work or your studies definitely goes hand in hand with who you are. Because you're saying that it's like a part of your self-work or self-improvement or possibly, your own personal enlightenment goes hand in hand with what you work on. So that there's like this energy of what you do. You could be like maybe a spiritual teacher or a, online proclaimed guru. I don't know. Your advancement helps others advance in return. You do for yourself and then you help others do for themselves. But, interesting. A true teacher never stops being the student. There's always something to learn. It's what happens when the teacher thinks that they made it to the pinnacle or the tippy top, or they're like the biggest, greatest out there, and then all of a sudden life comes up and just hard knocks, and it's like, you stopped learning. You closed off your mind and became rigid and closed off. And it's like, how else are you going to expand your horizon in your mind and your perspective unless life comes over and kind of like gives you Tweety birds and stars? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I didn't see that coming. Make adjustments. It's a learning curve. I don't know exactly what is going on, Leo, but you're having this realization regarding your studies and your work that there's a contemplation taking place for you. You're saying you are making financial adjustments and changes, but the more you kind of sit with this and learn about it, you're beginning to kind of grow anxious and panic a little bit. And that's what's very interesting is what you're saying is, I need helping hands on this project. All you got to do is ask, Leo. And I don't mean through tarot videos. All you got to do is ask. Everyone's too timid to just point blank send someone a direct message.
Or too cocky.
My wife says or too cocky. Or too prideful, however you want to look at it. They feel like they're kind of appearance-wise stepping down to ask for help. Anyways, whatever the collaborative energy is between you and like minds, it's almost kind of like you're not even too happy or fulfilled with the outcome or the result or the effect of how things are actually progressing moving forward, even though you do have teammates or people by your side of like minds to do this and help with. You're still saying something just still doesn't, and something still does not result in what you're specifically looking for. That right there is a scientist. You're showing me scientist energy. Usually I sense this for like Aquarius. But you're figuring it out, and that's all part of it, is you're figuring it out. Never stop pursuing what you're trying to figure out or study. If you want it badly enough, you'll find out. But if you're not meant to find out, that's also another lesson at the end of the road. That's like, hey, I wasn't meant to find out. Maybe it was just about the journey of trying to find out. So, of course, if you are dealing with anyone, you could be dealing with an earth sign, a water sign, or a fire sign. Goodbye.